These dotted lines here show the current income tax threshold and how it's changed over time. The one in black's the current one. You start paying tax on income over £12,500. And with the newer state pension on track to rise beyond that by 2027.
All of the major political parties in the UK right now in this election cycle are in support of maintaining the triple lock. Now, this is great news for pensioners, state pensioners specifically, who may be relying on the state pension as their sole source of income in retirement. Now, I'm going to give you what we know at this point in time, and hopefully this will help you or someone you know, if you send it to them, prepare themselves for what is coming in 2027, because that is when this problem is going to arise. So this is everything that you need to know right now. The triple lock is a promise by the government to increase the amount the state pension pays every single year by the highest of three measures: inflation, the average wage growth at the time, or 2.5%. Now, you've not been living under a rock, so you'll know that inflation over the past couple of years has peaked at 11.1%. This week, as of the time of recording this video, we just hit the target set by the Bank of England for inflation at 2%. Now, the last time they looked at the triple lock to apply it to the state pension was increased by 8.5%. So it took the state pension from paying £10,600 a year to the current level of £11,502.40 a year. Now, it's a good increase, helps state pensioners keep up with the cost of living, cost of price of services and goods increasing around them. However, there is a bit of a problem, because when you start to have a look at things like the Pensions and Lifetime Savings Association's guide for what a comfortable retirement looks like, the state pension right now falls below their minimum lifestyle standard that you want to go through. Now, I've already covered this in a video. You can go watch this video right here. It will give you the full lowdown of what those tiers are according to the Pension and Lifetime Savings Association. But currently in the UK, we know that there are about 1 million retirees who are solely dependent on the state pension for their income requirements, so to fund their retirement. And there's an interesting piece of stat that I just want to read here. It says here, for those people who are relying on the state pension, the reliance is particularly pronounced among single pensioners with significantly more women. So about 580,000 women and 180,000 men, depending on the state pension as their sole source of income. Now, there are lots of reasons why women will be in this category where the state pension is their only source of income, because a lot of women will take time off work to raise families. They may not necessarily be contributing to a pension all the way through their working career. We know that this is going to be an issue.
We're also taking difficult decisions on tax-free allowances. I'm maintaining at current levels the income tax personal allowance, higher rate threshold, main national insurance thresholds, and the inheritance tax thresholds for a further 2 years, taking us to April 2028.
Now, we've already established the state pension is currently paying £11,502.40 a year. Everyone in this country receives a personal allowance, which is an amount that you can earn before you begin to pay tax. So you can earn up to this amount, pay zero tax. That number is £12,570 a year. So I'm sure you can see where this is going. Fiscal drag dictates that as the triple lock is applied to the state pension, there will be state pensioners who may be solely reliant on the state pension as their main source of income, who are not currently paying tax, being dragged into the 20% basic rate taxpayer threshold because of the addition of the triple lock. If you are receiving state pension and that is your sole source of income, you're kind of tight, you don't really have much disposable income, this is going to put a lot of state pensioners underwater. Because if they're already currently tight, because £11,502 does not buy you a decent standard of living in retirement, if you're currently struggling paying no tax, you're going to struggle when you get to 2027 and the addition of the triple lock pulls you above the £12,570 allowance, meaning that you're going to have to start paying tax on your state pension. So the first impact is the fact that naturally you're going to have less disposable income, and that is going to tighten your finances, is going to impact your financial well-being. And these are people who have obviously contributed to the country, who will be elderly, who just want to put their feet up and just enjoy? I mean, it's a pretty sad thing to think about, if I'm honest. And this is the reality that we know. Now, what the Conservatives are suggesting is they want to do something called the triple lock plus, right? So what this would mean is that in this scenario where the triple lock gets applied in 2027, you potentially see pensioners go from paying no tax to paying tax. The Tories are suggesting something that will protect pensioners. So they might have their personal allowance increased, or there will be a note somewhere within the tax system to say that this person is in receipt of state pension. There is no need for tax to be paid. The Tories are proposing that right now. I don't know how much airtime that is actually getting, but bearing in mind we are in a general election cycle, most of the people that will be voting will be elderly people. And those are the people that typically the political parties and the politicians kind of like target. So this is an important campaign kind of like talking point that I've not really heard too much about. Labour, on the other hand, they're not being specific on what they would do, but they're aware of that being a potential problem. One of the things that they are also suggesting of doing, what they were suggesting of doing, was reintroducing the lifetime allowance for pensions. So the Tories took the cap off. They want to put the cap back on, but coincidentally, they've literally reneged and withdrawn from that idea of reintroducing the cap to the lifetime allowance to the pensions over the past week or so, couple of weeks or so. So look, what do you need to know? What can you do? There's not much you can do right now. It is really going to depend on I don't want to say the outcome of the election, who you actually vote for, because the reality is the Tories have said we will propose a triple lock plus, but can they be trusted to do it? Labour currently haven't really got any plans, but I'm sure they're looking at it. I'm sure that the Lib Dems will be aware of it as well. I'm sure they're going to do something about it. So what can you do? There isn't really anything you can do, to be honest. This presents a real problem because yes, freezing the tax thresholds is great. It's going to produce that fiscal drag. More people will pay money, more taxes, because they're being dragged into a higher tax bracket. But we don't want state pensioners who have worked all of their lives to pay into the system, who are now retiring, hoping to get something back from the system, being people who are dragged into a tax-paying status, particularly if they only have the state pension as their sole source of income. I mean, it's a difficult one to consider. I think the main thing is just watch this space. You're aware of it right now. If you know someone that this may impact, please share it so that they can watch it. I think we need to be asking questions. There maybe needs to be a petition or something like that. I don't know. But that's where we are right now. That's what's potentially happening. And it's kind of been lost in the detail, which is why I thought I'd make this video. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please share it. Please don't forget to smash the like button because it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you've not already subscribed, consider subscribing as well. I'll catch you in the next one.